This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we have a lot to get to today, Jay. It's amazing, how many things are going on, but there's something that's bothering me. I mean, how England and the UK, not just England, but the UK in general, has issues, with especially with migrants. First, actually, before we get to that, I want to show everybody our top stories for the day. We've got Hillary Clinton here. FBI emails actually allege that Hillary Clinton, I guess, hired Robert Mueller to facilitate the murder of Seth Rich. That's what these emails in the FBI files are alleging. And then we also have Bill Gates. We caught him choking his chicken. All right. Bill Gates choked his chicken and we caught it. And if you guys are not familiar with that reference, choking your chicken, he choked it.
I think they are. I think most people are.
Well, he choked his chicken and we got it on film.
All right, man. Well, Jack, talk about chickens. We can talk about it later, but I don't know if you saw the story that just came out of Indiana.
What's that? Well, hold on. Let me get to the sponsor real quick.
We'll talk about it later.
All right. MaxAssociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. Scan the QR code at the top right or go to MaxAssociates.etsy.com. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, they have some of the most amazing things that you could see. I mean, they've got all the best clothing and phone cases and shirts and just everything. I'm going to share this with you real quick, actually. I want you guys to see this. Let me remove this out of the way real quick. Let's remove that. And let's bring this up. All right, so check this out. This is the website, and look at all the great stuff. Look at the shirts, okay? $23.99. Capitalism over socialism. I love that. Another capitalism over socialism. Freedom, right here. Look at this white shirt right here. Freedom over communism. That's a wonderful shirt, and it's $23.99. You get 20% off of that, and then free shipping anywhere in the United States. Check out this shirt right here.
Less than $20, Jack. Jack, less than $20. For that shirt.
And that includes shipping. That includes shipping.
Crazy.
Yeah. This shirt right here is pretty cool. Look, if this flag offends you, then leave the country. I like that. That's cool. Look, here's the guys version. The dark blue right here. I love that. Proud American. I mean, and this is just one page of, they've got probably hundreds of items. So go check out maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. All right, Jay. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, there is an official baby list that just came out. It's for last year, okay? I want you to tell me, and this is just a guessing game, what is the #1 name for babies in England and Wales for the 3rd consecutive year last year?
Muhammad
Is correct. The #1 name in England and Wales, by the way, England and Wales, the #1 name for babies is Muhammad. And do you want to know why that's the #1 name? It is because it's not because England and Wales suddenly, they all converted to Muslim. No, it's because Muslims each have 20 children. So they're going to take over your country, England. And in fact, they already have. That's why that's the #1 baby name. So they're going to take over your country, Wales. It's coming to America too. So, I mean, just so you know, there's a lot of Muhammads out there, and there's going to be a lot of Muhammads in the next few generations, Jay.
I'm on my kids. I did not know the answer. I took a guess just based on logic and what I've seen.
There you go.
Based on 2 logic, + 2 is 4.
I mean, yeah. And it's sad that that's what it's come to. Okay. England. The #1 name is Muhammad. That's what it's come to in England. If that doesn't make you fight for your country, fight for your culture, then what good was your culture? If you ain't willing to fight for it, if you're just going to let them take it over. I mean, the politicians that you voted to represent you are not representing you. They're representing them. Okay. You need to fight the Muslims, but #1, you need to fight the politicians. And it's going to come to a point where you need to physically fight, because obviously, like we've said many times, you can't vote your way out of communism. You can vote your way in, but you can't vote your way out. America is this close to voting their way into communism. That's what these people that are representing socialism, that's their goal. The goal of socialism is communism. That Vladimir Lenin said that a long time ago. The goal of socialism is communism. We are voting in all these socialist people. Once they get enough, once it's a majority, they will switch to their communist ideals. Okay. And that's happening here in America. And we're not fighting back. We're not fighting back any more than England is fighting back their politicians over the Muslims. Jay, everyone that we hire to represent us, they don't represent us.
Well, I'm going to disagree with one thing. One person we hired and elected, I should say elected, is trying to fight for us.
Well, one person is one person. I don't care.
But Jack, that person has closed our border and given us a chance.
It's one person, man.
But he's given us a chance. And I agree with you on everything else you said. Well, we have plenty of people that don't. We talked about it yesterday.
They don't represent us, man.
Well, we talked about why John Thune doesn't want to pass the Save America Act.
Yeah, we talked
about it.
Yeah.
Right. So, right. One person, thank God the president actually has a lot of control over immigration, and he doesn't need Congress to do things while he's in office. But the problem is we need things codified into office, into law by Congress.
But see, that's the
things
problem
that he's doing. That's the problem. But at least we have that, Jack. England
we have it for now. We have it for now.
And my point
we have it for now, Jay. It's not permanent.
But England has nobody right now.
No,
zero.
No, they don't. No, they don't. It's mostly because they're in the European Union. Whoever is in the European Union, huge mistake. Huge mistake. The European Union is the biggest racist, socialist, communist. It's the Soviet Union. The European Union is the new Soviet Union.
All about globalism.
It's all about it.
That's all about. That's it.
And the globalist cabal is taking over, and that's what's happening. The globalist cabal is taking over.
We're one bad presidential election away from being done. It's that
in America, definitely. In America, definitely.
That's simple.
One bad, just one.
What's it? It's 2028. 26 is obviously very important, but presidential election 28. We're one bad presidential election away from being done. It's that simple.
One stolen presidential election away.
Of course. Look with Joe Biden. I mean, they tried to. We would have been finished.
Oh yeah,
we would have been finished if
Kamala
Harris, we're done. We're finished.
Oh my God,
finished.
Oh God. All right, I'm trying to. I wanted to find this thing that I saw that the European Union is doing now. I wanted to find it because it is mind-blowing, the shit that they are doing for anti-European culture. I mean, they are the European Union, and they are actively trying to destroy European culture. They want, and Jay, I've said this many times, these places, these unions, they want, including American politicians and politicians all around the world, they want a one world government. It's just like the Bible says, honestly. They want a one world government. They want it to where nobody has a culture. And how do you do that? You bring the third world everywhere, Jay. If every country is the third world, there's nothing but chaos. In chaos, the powers that be can do whatever they want. Okay? They can declare national emergencies. They can let it go. They can steal money. Doesn't matter because it's all chaos. So if they can do that, get it to that point where there is no culture. There's no more European culture. There's no New Zealand, no Australia. There's no United States, no Canada. There's no Zimbabwe. There's nothing. All it is one big world. And if that ends up being the case, there's no borders, obviously. And it's also a point where they can control you no matter where you go. And that is the ultimate goal, is that you have nowhere else to go. That's the goal.
That's the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
That's the Hunger Games. It's city-states. It's elites and everybody else.
It's exactly what they want. It's what they want.
I agree.
And because they're the powers. And you got to see, if you're the power, that's going to be something you want, because what does power want more than anything, Jay? It wants more power.
Yeah, more power.
And what gives you more power than being in control of the entire world? Because each one of these politicians can only be in control of their country. But what if They made it to where there are no cultures, there are no countries, there are no borders. And now you have an actual cabal head of each individual region or whatever it is, and they actually control the entire world. That is the ultimate goal of someone that has power. They want absolute power.
And we have plenty of useful idiots handing it to them as we speak.
That's the problem. They're all useful idiots, and they're all handing it to them. They all are handing it to them. And there's nothing, there's less of us than there are of them. That's the problem. And even if there are, Jay, even if there are more of us, we're not doing anything about it.
This is, Jack, it's a broken record. If we actually turn out, we win these elections, even if they try to steal it. They tried to steal 2024. Of course they did. They tried to do the same thing they did in 2020, but we turned out in bigger numbers, and we also tightened up a little bit, but they tried to steal it. They always are going to try and steal. But if we turn out, we win. I think there are more of us still. Not for long if we keep this crap up. But
no.
Right
there's not more of us already, because the Muslims, there's probably more Muslims than any race or person on earth right now.
Oh, I'm just talking about people trying to hand it to them in our country.
Oh, yeah, no, there's more of them. There's a lot more people that are not as smart than there are that are smart. A lot more people that have no common sense than have common sense. There's a lot more of them than there is of us. But we're stronger and we're smarter. The thing is, we're also cautious, and we don't just fight.
Well, first, you don't all just fight. Well, we actually have like jobs, families, kids, people have, it's a lot of these people, this is all they have. It's like the government, this is their God. This is their God. This is their moral compass, whatever, if they have any whatsoever, is that. It's hatred. It's if you're not all in with what I believe, you're useless. You're nothing. You got to be gone. You're disposed of. And they're the useful idiots putting these people in power. Look around you.
It's funny you brought this up, that they don't have anything, that this is their God. I was thinking about this on the drive home from work earlier, Jay. When I was a kid in the 90s, every show that you would watch on television had a wholesome family with a good dad and a good mom, and it taught you, whether you only had one parent or you had both parents, what you watched there taught you how to be a good citizen, a good adult, a good person. I'm talking Philip and Vivian Bank. I'm talking Amy and Alan Matthews, Jill and Tim Taylor. You know what I mean? All these people that are part of this. I'm talking, Carl and Harriet Winslow. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know any of these people, but I'm talking about, these are the wholesome shows that played back in the 90s. So the propaganda back then was the nuclear family. It was to stick together. It was to be a good person. It was to have lessons at the end of every show. Boy Meets World, one of the greatest shows ever. It was wholesome family entertainment, and that's why we grew up the way we did. Now, Jay, flip the switch to the 2000s, it's nothing but, have you seen the shit that's on TV now?
Not really, but I can imagine what it is. I know what it is. I know it's the culture. It's just, the
propaganda.
Well, the propaganda now is, even, I think it even started in a lot of it in the 90s.
It may have, but the wholesome family entertainment was just too much for it.
But think about the show Sex and the City. It told women, you don't need to get married. You don't want to have kids. You want to have a career.
Older women. I'm talking about people that were growing up in the 90s.
No, but that show influenced younger women, is what it did. That show
when I say growing up, I'm talking about probably, I would say 5 to 15. You know what I mean?
Forget it. There's no more Brady Bunch. There's no more of those shows, Family Matters and everything else. Leave It to Beaver, Family, and then
those were the shows.
The 80s. Those shows.
Even if you only had one parent, Jay, that helped you learn how to grow up.
The Wonder Years, those shows, right? Stuff like that. No, those
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Step by Step, Home Improvement, Boy Meets World, all of them.
Even Roseanne. Any of them. Family Ties. You could name a million of them.
They had two parents. Roseanne had two parents. Every single one of these shows had two parents in the household.
You can name a million of them. And then it turned into reality TV. And reality TV with jazz. Remember the jazz?
The Real World and Road Rules.
Well, Jazz was the first transgender kid, right? That was.
I have no idea who that is.
That was the first transgender kid. I forget what network ran it. It was one of the cable networks.
Really?
And I
Never heard
remember
of it.
listening to Andrew Wilkow, and Andrew Wilkow, this is over 10 years ago. And he said over 10 years ago, he said, I'm watching this show. I've seen this show with this kid, Jazz, and I think he's transitioning from like a boy to a girl. And what he said was, mark my words, and this was over 10 years ago. He said, mark my words, it's going to come to the point where this Jazz as a girl, but it's really a guy. If you're a straight guy and you don't want to date Jazz, you're going to be the bigot. Look where we are. He was absolutely right.
He was right.
He
was right. But see, that's why, I was thinking about that on the way home, because people from the 90s that are now, in my age, in their mid to late 30s or even, early 30s, they're not insane like the people now. If you are 30 or younger, you've got a fucked up head most of the time because of all the propaganda shit out there. But I mean, if you go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the propaganda, including all the shows that kids watched growing up. I mean, I remember TGIF in the 90s. Thank goodness it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Had the whole wholesome family lineup ending with Boy Meets World at the end of the night. All of that stuff, even if you only had one parent in the household, even if you had no parents and you were a foster kid, you could learn how to grow up and be a citizen. But now,
even the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, they didn't have their parents, but they have their uncle, and it was a family unit.
Exactly.
Regardless, it was a family unit, and yeah, it was like a fun show, but it had a lot of wholesome things to it, of, like you said, like family, like work, hard work, working on a farm, stuff like that. Even though they were crazy and they were always running from the cops, whatever, right? Roscoe, but it was always a wholesome kind of fun.
Yes,
it was never like an angry or a vicious kind of thing, and it was always kind of, even at the end, there would be like a lesson learned.
Exactly. And that's what I love about the shows like The Boy Meets World, because they teach you a lesson at the end of the show. I mean, they don't come out and say it, right? But you learn it. You can feel it,
Correct.
Oh, man. Those shows back in the day, dude.
Back when I was young, Jack, like that, like real young, I was watching the Dukes of Hazzard and the Incredible Hulk. Where like one, and the Incredible Hulk was also another show. Yeah, Uncle Jesse, right? But the Incredible Hulk also always had some kind of moral lesson, like in there somewhere.
Yeah, Full House. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk also had lessons. I mean, I used to watch Power Rangers. Also had the same kind of thing. Saved by the Bell. Great. I love that show when I was a kid. Same thing. They always had lessons in their shows. They tried to teach you how to be a person, how to be a real person. Now it's like they teach you the opposite.
Oh yeah, teach you how to be all about yourself.
Yeah, destructive, narcissist that just cares about nothing.
Nothing
Nihilists.
except yourself.
They're a nihilist.
Do whatever you can or whatever you need to do to benefit you, and you're fine. And you know what? You're right for doing it. No, you're not right for always doing that. You should, of course, always try to better yourself, but it shouldn't be at the expense of other people, and stepping on them and all that other crap. That's it. And listen, that's the real world. Does that happen? Of course, it always has. It always will. But this is kind of what's drilled into people now. It's just you and don't worry about anybody else. Them be damned, as long as you're happy. No, that's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. Of course,
I gotta say, Jay,
but
Hickser's got a point though. He said his mom always said, "How come the Hulk's shirt ripped but not his pants?" I gotta say, what's up with that?
Well, that was always a good question.
Yeah, what is up with that?
It's one of those questions as little kids I didn't ask. It was just so cool.
You don't think about it as a kid.
It was just so cool watching him like rip his shirt off, and it would just bust open. Lou Ferrigno. I mean, God,
Lou Ferrigno was the original. He was the Hulk. Yeah.
Well, it was him and Arnold, man. Those were the two dudes back in the day. But Arnold was the man, to be honest.
But Raina's right. The good days are gone. I mean, we're not going to have the 80s and 90s again. Okay, the 90s was the last great decade. Okay, once it switched over to the millennium, it's like the whole world flipped, like a switch flipped.
Yeah, the 70s too. I was watching, like I said, the Brady Bunch, Little House on the Prairie.
50s and 60s had great shows too.
Yeah, Leave It to Beaver, and
not the crazy propaganda you see now.
Exactly. It's just different. It's different. I don't think we ever go back unless something drastic happens.
It would have to be drastic.
Think about the black community. When things really started to go south for the black community is when the nuclear family in the black community dissipated. And that was due to the welfare
and that
state.
happened with the Civil Rights Act, believe it or not.
Exactly.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
They were before welfare came along, before money for welfare came along, black people, I think like 70% of black kids live in a home with married parents.
Nuclear family. That's correct.
And after the Civil Rights Act, every man just left. You could go get welfare on his own, left the kids and everything. It was terrible. And that's why the 90s, Jay, I said they tried to bring that back. Like I said, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters. They tried to bring back the nuclear black families, but it's gone, man. It's gone.
Yeah, the only way you get rid of it is to really rip off some Band-Aids, and nobody's got the stomach to do it.
No, you've got to rip them off. But yeah, nobody's got the stomach to do that. But yeah, Andy Griffith, that's another good one. Yeah, we could go on and on about the shows. I mean, the shows from pre-2000, incredible stuff.
Oh,
all right. So,
somebody just said I have to before I move on. All in the Family. I mean, with Archie Bunker.
Yeah,
that show. I mean, the stuff that they said on that show.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you couldn't even imagine people saying it today. They would have their heads would explode.
Mm-hmm.
I watch like reaction channels on YouTube, and somebody watches an episode.
Why do people do that? Why do people watch somebody watching something?
I'll tell you why. Because if it's a movie or say it's a song, people react to songs because you almost want to. You're watching somebody watch it for the first time, and through them, you're kind of like, oh, I'm watching it.
How do you know they're watching it for the first time?
You kind of take their word for it. And sometimes you can tell. Listen, there are some times when people told me they never heard the song "Piano Man" by Billy Joel, and I'm like, what?
Oh, come on,
how's
everybody.
it possible?
You would have heard that even at a grocery store, in an elevator. You're going to hear it somewhere.
Some of them I don't believe, but some of them, most of them I do. Like movies, even like Jack, people like they're younger than us. Obviously, they're in probably their early 20s or maybe even late 20s. They haven't seen a lot of the movies that we grew up with. So watching them watch it, I get a kick out of it. That's me, and a lot of people do because a lot of those channels are very. I mean, they're very successful. Those channels,
they are. I don't get that. I mean, you can just. I don't get it. I don't get it, but okay.
I think that's why.
But Hickser is right. Unfortunately, to do what we need to do, we have to be racist.
But it's not being racist.
Oh, no. It's what they would call racist.
Right.
You know, I mean, stopping Muslims from coming to America. I'm sorry. Removing Muslims, okay? Removing welfare from black families, not just black families, but everybody. But it's going to proportionally affect black families more because they're on welfare more. So removing welfare. I mean, forcing these people to have to work. If you're on food stamps, you have to find a job. Okay. If you're doing this, you have to find a job. If you want welfare, you could find a job. You get 2 months of welfare. You don't have a job by then, you're done. There's got to be parameters, not just lifetime welfare shit.
I've been saying it for a while. Americans don't want to do those jobs. They don't want to go. I don't care if they want to do the job or not. Here's the deal.
They're not being forced to do them. That's the problem.
Well, that's what I've been saying for a while, though. Here's the deal. You live in Chicago. You've been on welfare for how long? You're able-bodied and able-minded. You have 6 months. We'll even transport you and provide you with housing for the first 6 months, but you're going down to Texas to pick berries. You don't like it? Good. Your welfare ends in 6 months.
There you go.
That's it.
Those are the Band-Aids we need to rip.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you have to do.
I will say that Donald Trump has started that, and I'm going to tell you why. HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, that handles all the public housing in America, that gives out the vouchers and the money and that stuff for these housing. They put in a work requirement now, where if you're going to live in a public housing facility, you have to have a job. Okay, you can go in there and you have to find a job. If you don't find a job, you got to be out. They also put in a requirement where if you're able-bodied and single, you can only live in public housing for 2 years. After 2 years, you're gone.
2 years.
I love that.
I know, but it still to me is too long. But I get it. I'm glad they're doing it. But 2 freaking years.
That gives them plenty of time to find stable job and housing. By the way, I loved Married with Children. The reason I didn't bring it up is because even though they were a nuclear family, they weren't the best role models.
They were funny though, man. But you know what? They stayed together through thick and thin. I'll say that.
Through very thin. Yeah, through thin. I don't
that
remember
is a
the
great
thick,
show.
But
Al Bundy is a legend. Polk High.
Oh,
I think
best.
He's a legend.
I love Ed O'Neill. Are you kidding me? Ever since I watched him with Married with Children, I tried to watch him on anything I could find, like Little Giants. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Little Giants, with him and Rick Moranis. I mean, you know, love it.
Ages ago.
Love that stuff. All right, Jay.
Well, yeah.
The reason I brought all this up and we got into whole discussion is because it started with the European Union. Well, Jay, the European Union has just advanced chat control 1.0. Do you know what that means? It means that they are allowing mass scanning of all private communications through 2028. They are allowed to scan every private communication in the entire European Union for every country, texts, instant messages, whatever you got that you text, that is a text, whether it's on a computer, phone, whatever, they are allowed to scan it now,
Really?
at least till 2028. And let me tell you, Jay, these kind of things, it's not going to be till 2028. It's going to end up being permanent.
This is in Europe, and this is going on now.
The entire European Union. Type in, go to Grok real quick. I want you to type in chat control 1.0.
Okay.
We're going to look this up right now. I want everybody to see this shit. I want everybody to hear what he has to say. We're going to hear what chat control is really about.
All right. Let's see.
It's actually been
chat
implemented.
Control,
yeah, go ahead.
It says officially regulation EU 2021, 20, whatever, is a temporary EU derogation from the e-privacy directive. It permits but does not require online service providers to voluntarily scan users' private communications, such as emails, chats, and messages, for known child sex abuse material without needing prior suspicion or a court order for individual
no
users.
Suspicion, no court order, Jay.
So that means everybody to me.
Everybody. And not just that, Jay. They say it's for child sex abuse material, but guess what? It's going to eventually expand the scope.
Yeah, you give them an inch, they're going to try to take 50
creep.
miles.
We talked about this.
Right, mission creep. It says this key scope. It applies mainly to unencrypted services, Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Skype, Snapchat, iCloud, Mail. It does not break end-to-end encryption. That's a core issue with the proposed chat control 2.0.
Jesus Christ.
Voluntary. Providers choose whether to scan.
For now. But Jay, they're voluntary, but the EU, anybody in the EU can say, look, I need you to scan this, and they will do it.
Well, listen to this, Jack. It says the providers choose whether to scan. In practice, major U.S. tech companies have used it.
Yeah, in Europe, but not in America.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
No, they've used it in Europe. See, they say they use it to gather data, but they can use it for anything. They can use it to anything they want.
Well, it says right here are the criticisms, obvious, raises privacy concerns, risks false positives, enables mass scanning of innocent users' data. Yeah, a step towards border surveillance. Hello, obviously. Yeah.
What is going on in Europe, man? I mean, why are they allowing all of this shit and the migrants? It's not just the migrants, it's the migrants and all this shit.
It could mandate scanning.
Yeah. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand this. Why?
Why?
Why are the people of, not just the people, why are the European Parliament, why is European Union doing this to their people?
Well, we talked about it. This is part of control to me.
Yeah, they want global control. I know they want global, but still, how can you do that to your own country, to your own people? Because it's not just doing it to them. You're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to your mom. You're doing it to your kids. You're doing it to your wife. All of those things can be scanned. It's not just the other people. It's everybody.
It's crazy.
Who can live in Europe?
It says the 2.0 could mandate scanning, including for unknown material via AI, text analysis, and potentially client-side scanning on encrypted apps, raising big encryption concerns.
Yep. I told you, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, Jay. They're just going to expand the scope to eventually be able to scan everything for any reason, Jay. That Europe right now is the ultimate socialist nation right now, the ultimate socialist union. It is the Soviet Union, Jay. It's literally the Soviet Union with a different name.
And guess what? If Democrats win, because right now we have the Constitution to protect us from that thing from ever happening. Right now. If the Democrats win and they pack the Supreme Court, I guarantee you that crap you just heard will be allowed in this country.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee
they'll do away with. I mean, even if there is the Constitution, the only person that can enforce it is the Supreme Court. So if the Supreme Court says this is allowed, it's allowed.
Look what they did with the Second Amendment, even with this Supreme Court. 9
My
people.
God,
They've
man.
eaten away at it. How many ways? How many ways have they eaten at the Second Amendment?
But
They'll do
Jay,
that to the First Amendment,
how much are we going to take until we
Fourth
physically
Amendment.
fight back?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I hope we never have to find out. But
Well, are we going to wait until we can't fight back? Are we going to wait until when we wake up one day, we're not allowed to say anything, we're not allowed to hear anything, we're not allowed to see anything, and we're not allowed to touch anything?
Here's where I thought it would go sideways. I've always thought that the breaking point will be when they are going door to door to try and take your guns away.
I don't even know if that, Jay. People in America are so comfortable with they don't want to risk comfortability for freedom. They will give up freedom for comfortability, Jay. They don't want to risk what they have. They don't want to risk their job. They know they'll be fired. They don't want to risk going to jail. They don't want to risk their family. They don't want to risk their house. They don't want to risk their car. These people will take whatever is thrown at them, Jay. And that's the bad part.
Some people will, but I think of a lot of people in that. I think that would be the last straw for a lot of people.
Well, I'm talking the majority will. There's going to be factions, that'll get together and try to fight back. But the majority of people will take whatever is thrown at them because they will not risk comfortability for freedom.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping what's going on right now with the Democrats, and you're seeing it in Maine with Plattner. And all over the country, this guy in Michigan that's running is even worse than Plattner. He's a complete Islamist.
But the socialists are all winning.
But what I'm hoping is fine. Let them win their primaries. Not let them, but if they win their primaries. But what I'm hoping is that even people that were in the middle, and Donald Trump's not going to run again. He's not going to be president again. He's going to not be on a ballot for the first time in 10 years, right? What I'm hoping is that people who are kind of in the middle, who always stay in the middle, who go either way, whatever, or people that just vote Republican because they just hate Donald Trump. But I'm hoping those people I think they will see that this is just a bridge too far and they just can't do it. And they're either going to sit home or they're actually just going to vote Republican because these people are crazy and they got to realize, and with shows like this and just show, they have to hear that what we're talking about, what you're seeing in Europe, it will happen here if these people take control.
Absolutely. And Jay,
it's not hyperbole.
Raina brought something up that I want to bring up. Okay. Remember all those videos of millions of military age males crossing the border in America? Yeah. Just military age males, not women, not children, not old men, not young men, just military age males, probably 18 to 25, millions of them. Do you know why that specific demographic was brought over here? It was to quell any civil war that happens. What they were going to do and what they still will do if it happens, if Democrats win the midterms or 2028 presidency or whatever it is, what they will do if there is a civil war, okay, they are going to offer these millions of military age males citizenship to help quell the rebellion. That's it. Those are reinforcements that they brought in, Jay. There is literally no other reason to bring in millions of military age males into America when they all hate America and would gladly kill Americans.
I mean, where the hell are these people? Are they in these places like Michigan? Or are
I have no idea, man.
Embedded in some of these places in Texas? Or
spread out everywhere?
Where are they? These are the ones, worst of the worst. The military age men, maybe that would be something for DHS to focus on. Who are the military age men that came into the country?
Millions. I'm going to find you videos.
Yeah, and go after them first. I don't care if they haven't gotten a parking ticket since they've come in here illegally. They need to get out because I'm concerned about something like you just said. And we always have been.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want. They want it because it will help squash all of them. It'll help, kill the rebellion. That's what they are hoping for because they're going to offer them citizenship to help squash any kind of rebellion. I mean, imagine having an extra 5 million soldiers that A, want their citizenship, and B, are rabid America haters. They will do whatever it takes. And then you also have millions of Muslims that will strap on suicide bombs if you want them to. Jay, that is the reason this is happening.
Well, I can't say that you're wrong. I don't, wait, we're speculating here, but it makes sense. The logic train flows, it stays on the track. You know, why did this happen? Why did they want this? Why would you possibly allow this into your country? Look
It's
at Europe
scary.
again, look at Europe. Okay, look at it. The number one name is Muhammad. We see people getting their heads chopped off in the middle of the street. We see a lot of things there. We see the cops that are there, making sure that Muslims can do whatever they want and anybody else gets reprimanded or arrested. We see
Let me
people
show you
getting
this.
arrested for social media posts. I mean, it's crazy.
Jay, remember during Biden's administration where they were actually opening the gate to allow people in?
Yeah.
I have a video that shows 10,000 military age males all coming in together on train cars. Train cars. Take a look at this.
Where is this?
This is the border city of Juarez, atop train cars. It's when they cross the border in train. Every single one of these.
I see a couple of women, but not many.
Yeah, rarely.
Every last one of them rounded up. Every last one of them.
Where are we
Every
going
last
to
one of
find
them.
them, man? They have no documentation, no location, no fingerprints, no facial recognition. I mean,
This is why I say Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, and Kamala Harris should be put in prison for violating the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4.
absolutely. Here's another
That's
one.
it.
Look, this is a boat. I'm muting that. But look,
Where the hell is this boat come from?
I don't know, but it's coming to America. This is one of the ones that came to America. All of them military age males. And this doesn't happen by chance, Jay. You don't get nothing but military age males on a boat by chance.
Who's paying for this boat?
George Soros paid the majority of it.
Where does it
Not
say
just
that boat's
that, but a
going?
lot of
Does
them.
it say?
Huh?
Does it say where that boat was going?
Hang on, let me go back. Let me see. Nope. Just says no, doesn't say. But there's a lot more than that. I mean, there was military age males all over coming in. When I say at least 5 million, there is at least 5 million military age illegal males that came into America.
I believe that 100%. I totally believe that.
And if you have 5 million people, Jay, extra people that will fight for citizenship and have no qualms about killing an American citizen.
Yeah, you've imported your own damn army. Yeah, there you go. Obama's army. Yeah, thank you. There you go. Decon. Yeah.
All you have to do is say citizenship. They'll do whatever the hell you want.
Yep. Or not even know. It's just here. Here's a place to live.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is what it is, but that's part of the plan. I always thought that was part of the plan. If there's ever a civil war, they will call upon those people to help quash it.
Yeah. I just don't get it how people just don't see that. And while it was happening, they just weren't concerned about any of it. No one was concerned about the border just being overrun for 4 years.
10,000 military age males on train cars crossing the border. That means that they're not stopped, they're not ID'd, they're not searched, they're not there's no background checks, there's nothing. 10,000 just on that one train car, one train with cars in it. 10,000 military age males, just that one train car area for 5 minutes. Imagine that for 4 years.
It's third world country crap. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And it's not just America. In fact, it's even worse in Europe because Europe is connected to all these shitty countries.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't have to even cross water. Nothing.
Nope.
Don't have to do anything. They don't have to make like this arduous journey through Mexico. Did you hear today with the Mexican president, Jack? You heard about the ICE shooting that happened?
You mean the Jewish female president of Mexico?
Yeah, that one.
What the fuck? Jewish female president. You really think they voted for a Jewish female?
I never understood it. I think with the last name Scheinbaum in Mexico, you might not have a chance, but I guess.
And you're a female, Jay. In Mexico, it's a male, what do you call it? A male culture, a male-dominated culture. She is a Jewish female.
Well, listen, we elected somebody with the last name Obama and the first name Barack. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but
Twice.
that was because he actually had, skills that we thought.
Well, not me. I didn't think
Yeah.
anything. No, I thought he had skills, but I didn't like his skills.
Yeah.
Let me,
What were you gonna say?
let me look real quick about this. What she said today, though, is Jack, that she wants to sue the United States over this, over this guy getting shot. You believe this?
I do believe it. She's an idiot.
The top diplomat, and she's been saying it too, the top diplomat from Mexico wants to sue the United States because this Mexican illegal alien who's been in this country for 35 years, 35 years illegally.
Yeah, I saw your video. Yeah.
Right. And now she wants to sue the United States. How about what it just, I think, Jack, I think she's right. I think it's dangerous for Mexican illegal aliens to be in this country. I think Mexico should send planes and buses and whatever else they need to get all of them the hell out of here.
Absolutely. If they're in danger here, we should get them back to you
immediately. And then the United States, we should sue Mexico for all of the crime and all of the billions of dollars that we've spent on your citizens.
Jay,
and maybe worry about your drug cartels too. How about that?
Well, we've done a great job. But Jay, I think that we should let her win the lawsuit. If she wins the lawsuit, we'll be like, all right, see, they think it's dangerous here, so we got to send everybody back.
Send them back. You're right. You win. You're right. They all got to go back. It's dangerous here. Very dangerous for Mexicans here, especially with those big bad ICE officers looking to deport them. I think you should take them out yourself so they don't get hurt again trying to run over an ICE officer. I think it's a great idea. Actually.
Absolutely. All right, Jay, since we've only got about 15 minutes left, let's talk about the two top stories, okay?
Go ahead. Right. Let's hear it.
So the first one, Jay, is the Hillary Clinton emails. Okay, this is incredible. Okay, this is from the FBI files on Seth Rich that just came out recently, okay? Check this out. This is the FBI files on Seth Rich. All right, and apparently these emails that were in the FBI files all point to Hillary Clinton. Now, we don't know who these emails were sent from. We don't know if they were sent from tips or if they were internal FBI emails. We don't know. All we know is that they were in the FBI files. The newly released FBI records included emails alleging that Hillary Clinton hired Robert Mueller to arrange the assassination of Seth Rich. That is what these emails say. I could try to read them, but okay, it says, let's see. Who knows better hitman than Robert Mueller? It's Seth Rich murder has access to plenty of hitmen who owe him and ready cash. It's hard to read because that's small print on the computer screen. But yeah, basically it's saying that Hillary Clinton hired Robert Mueller to arrange the murder of Seth Rich. And Jay, that makes sense. He was possibly the leaker to Julian Assange, the leaker of Hillary Clinton's very private emails.
The whole Robert Mueller thing, it drives me absolutely crazy.
Did you see our thumbnail?
I didn't even see our thumbnail. Put it up.
I don't have it, but you should take a look. Actually, you know what? Wait a minute. Don't look at it. Give me a second. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second. Go ahead.
No, what I was saying, the whole Robert Mueller thing, the whole Robert Mueller report was fake from the beginning because it was based on a completely fake Steele dossier and a fake Russia collusion hoax. And then why should I believe anything in that Robert Mueller report that says anything about Seth Rich, anything about President Trump, anything about anything?
Well, this wasn't in the Mueller report.
Garbage. But didn't did they mention Seth Rich in the Robert Mueller report at all? Did they mention Hillary? They mentioned Hillary Clinton.
But these emails are not from the Mueller report.
No,
these
they're from
emails
the FBI.
Came from the burn bags. Yeah,
from the FBI, right? So
yeah.
And the thing with these, and I got a suggestion for the FBI. Okay, if we don't know where these emails come from because they're redacted, the from is redacted. So if you guys go to Grok and you type in, are these emails? All right, I'm looking at the thumbnail now. Let me hold that thought. Let me just write that down. Grok and emails. Go ahead. Let me look at the thumbnail now. What do we got?
Okay, so you can see you're standing next to Hillary Clinton, who's in an orange jumpsuit and arrested. And we're at Robert Mueller's grave. And you're saying, Jack, he's dead. And I said, I don't care. This son of a bitch will pay. I was going to dig him up.
You're going to exhume Robert Mueller?
Oh yeah, I was
Oh,
exhuming
God.
him, and then he was going to share a cell with Hillary Clinton.
Oh, I thought she was going to. No, I have a better idea. Make her dig the grave up. I don't want to work.
No, she's in handcuffs. They're never coming off. They're never coming off.
She could use her teeth. She could eat the dirt with her mouth.
Well,
But
Jay,
no,
these emails allege, and I gotta believe Robert Mueller arranged the hit on Seth Rich because he did know a lot of hitmen. He was in that world.
well, he was an FBI director, was he not?
Yeah. And Hillary Clinton, one of the dirtiest, most evil people on earth. You can look at these emails and think, you know what? That's probably true.
Listen, what we were talking about this today. If you go to Grok and you say, are these emails real? They're real emails. They'll tell you it's real. Then they'll tell you that these are just tips, anonymous tips that were sent into the FBI. That
But they don't know that. I asked Grok. They said there's no way to tell where they came from.
They can't. Here's my suggestion to the FBI. When you get an email in your anonymous tip lines, it should instantly be watermarked and timestamped in the middle of the watermark that this is a tip, anonymous tip, or a tip from a public, from just the public. That way people know. That way it's not like, because we're questioning, say, are these emails back and forth between FBI agents?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
But
so
these were the ones that were released, Jay. They made sure that these were important enough that they kept them in the files. These ones were kept together. So, and they're all about Robert Mueller, Hillary Clinton, and Seth Rich. They were put together, which means they were important to this record.
Well, here's the other thing. You're going to get from an AI that these are kept because they were FOIA'd, and they were FOIA'd for years. Okay, but here's the problem the FBI runs into, and the government just continues to run into. The problem is this. The FBI initially denied any involvement in Seth Rich, having no documents related to Seth Rich. Then all of a sudden, after the FOIA, it comes, oh, we have thousands of pages of stuff with Seth Rich. Well, why wouldn't you just say that in the beginning? Or use your catch-all. We have it, but we can't release it yet. It's under investigation. It's still an open case.
But Jay, they were going to burn these emails. They were going to burn. That means that these are important. That means that these emails matter.
Well, that's what it would lead you to believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's the problem with the government. When people get mad about, and listen, not all conspiracy theories are equal. They're not.
No.
Some of them, no, they're not all the same.
Some are insane.
Right. Some of them are insane. But when it's something like this, a case that revolves around what was going on at that time with WikiLeaks and Julian Assange and Hillary Clinton, and
a robbery where they shoot
a robbery
you in the back
where
but
nothing
don't
was
steal anything.
right. A robbery where nothing was taken.
And they shoot you in the back.
No arrest made in Washington D.C. for a murder of somebody. I'm not saying it was a prominent person, but it was somebody involved.
He worked for the White House. He was a prominent person.
I should say not a household name. It wasn't a household name.
Well, he was after he was killed.
After he was killed. But my point is, you have nothing. We have no arrests, and then you have we don't have anything, but then you do. This is what these are the things you guys get yourselves into.
Oh yeah.
Why? It's unnecessary unless you're really trying to cover something up.
But see, they knew so they admitted that they had those thousands of records, right? But then
after they said they didn't.
Yeah, but then they put some of them in a burn bag to be burned. These emails were in that burn bag. That tells me that these emails were important.
You know what I've also learned? What? That the person responsible for actually burning the burn bags isn't doing a very good job.
No, why don't you just take it right down to the incinerator? Why are you putting it in a freaking, maybe he wanted it to be found. Maybe he didn't want to burn the shit.
Maybe the guy in charge of all these burn bags was on our side.
He might have been. You never know. You never know because he didn't burn them. I'll tell you that much.
Right, because this is like the second time or third time since Kash Patel's been in as the director. We're hearing about burn bags. Jack, I never heard of burn bags before.
No, I just did in the incinerator.
But it's just I never heard the term, and now since he took over, we've heard it several times now. So I was like, "Who's the person in charge of doing the burning?"
But see, that's what that is what makes me think that he's on our side because all of these bags were not burned.
Hickser says he's a DEI hire.
Well, Jay, We got a few minutes left. I want to
Oh.
show you a video of Bill Gates choking his chicken.
Oh God.
All right. Bill Gates choked his chicken, and I've got video of it.
God.
Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, if I can find it here, I will gladly show you Bill Gates choking his chicken. Let's see here. So for those of you that don't know, Bill Gates is one of the most evil men in America. And he apparently, you know how he has the lab-grown meat? He so desperately wants people to eat lab-grown meat. And I don't know if it's climate change or power. He says it's climate change, but I don't see, you don't work that hard for something when you know it's not real. So Bill Gates, I'm gonna read this to you, okay? Let me pull this up. I want to read this to you so you guys can see it. Take a look at this. All right. This is it right here. Take a look. And I'm going to read this to you real quick. So Bill Gates wants you to eat lab-grown meat so badly, he is buying and then dumping thousands of live chickens into landfills. Videos showing hundreds of chickens being dumped into an Ohio landfill, including many still alive, have sparked outrage across the country. The landfill operator, Republic Services, has long counted Cascade Investment, Bill Gates' investment firm, as its top shareholder. So Bill Gates owns Republic, basically, because he owns the company that owns Republic. So he owns Republic, and they are literally getting chickens, live chickens, by the thousands and dumping them in landfills while they're still alive. At the same time, Gates has spent years promoting lab-grown meats, investing in plant-based and cultivated meat companies, arguing that wealthy countries should reduce conventional meat consumption. I mean, when one of the world's most influential investors, is deeply involved in reshaping the future of food, you know, people are going to ask questions when his, quote, investments become part of the story. So let me show you, Jay. I want to show everybody this man choking chickens. All right. And he doesn't actually choke the chickens, but it's funny to say, and it brings up a funny, you know, thing in your mind. He does something worse than choking chickens, Jay. I mean, you almost prefer that the video is of him choking chickens.
Right. Let's see.
So yeah,
Where's Peter? Where's Peter? Why aren't they screaming about this?
Oh, because they don't actually give a shit.
No,
you know?
they don't. No,
they don't actually give a shit.
If it was a Republican doing it, they would care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let me pull this up. All right. I want everybody to see this. This is insane. Oops. Why did that go off of there? There we go. All right, take a look.
Landfill?
Why are some of them alive?
Look at this. That is a mountain of chickens that they killed, and they killed all of them for no apparent reason. They killed them all, and then there was many of them that were still alive. Watch.
Oh, they smell so bad.
Shocking and
Here. Oh my God.
Disturbing video spreading online. You can see a truck dumping hundreds of chickens.
That is Republic right there.
In a landfill, and some of them walking around.
I don't see how anybody could think that was the proper way to do something.
We started asking questions, beginning with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. The agency says it's aware of the videos and investigating. Officials tell ABC6 some of the birds were not euthanized before they were transported and disposed of. The state says it has ordered retraining for workers on proper
Look at the chicken flapping its wings down there.
Euthanasia, loading, and disposal procedures.
This is sick, man. This is sick. I don't even care if he is doing it for lab-grown meat. Doing it for any reason is sick.
He knew nothing about it, Jack. He had no idea.
No, of course not. He's not trying to, force us to eat lab-grown meat. He's not trying to get rid of all the chicken, meat, and poultry, and he doesn't own the companies that did this.
No. He was just, these are his subordinates, and he didn't know. So let's not blame Bill.
This
God.
is sick.
No, that's disturbing to watch. Actually, it really is. It really
thousands of chickens, and a bunch of them still alive, flapping their wings or, bobbing their head, and they're on a landfill. You saw thousands of chickens.
Oh yeah, that's thousands. She said hundreds. That's thousands, tens of thousands of chickens. That and are these chickens diseased? Like, why were they dumped?
I looked into it. There was nothing wrong with. They actually grabbed them, killed them all after they laid eggs. There was nothing wrong with these chickens that I could find.
These people should be put in prison.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
it won't happen because Bill Gates has the money.
Forget even screw Bill Gates. The people that did it.
No,
retraining.
No, that's what I'm saying. He has the money. They're not going to touch any of his people.
They're ridiculous. Yeah, retraining. Yeah. Lara, that's funny. So the retraining is going to include how not to get caught. Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly. They're going to make sure that this time they do it at night. There's a lid on the thing so you can't see the chickens. Oh yeah, they might even grind them up first.
Oh my God, it's just horrible. Horrible to watch.
Sick. All right, guys.
Well, Jack, real quick, the choking the chicken. What time is it? We have like a minute.
We got about 4 minutes.
All right. So in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Jack, what started as an investigation to stabbing and arson took a disturbing turn in Fort Wayne after a man admitted he set his own genitals on fire.
Oh man, damn it, Jay. I wanted to get to that, and you damn it, Jay. I'm glad you reminded me.
All right, maybe want to save it for tomorrow.
No, people find out about it by then.
All right.
I got it in the bookmarks. Go ahead, talk about it for a second.
It says on May 6th, Fort Wayne Fire Department investigated a fire at a detached garage. Around the same time, police were responding to a reported stabbing.
Yep.
The property owners of the right, they said a neighbor woke them up to alert them of a fire. The owners noticed a family member, 36-year-old Christopher Peden, was missing. They encountered a stabbing victim who turned out to be Peden, according to the documents. He was taken to a hospital, claimed he'd been stabbed somewhere in downtown Fort Wayne. He also said he'd been threatened the day before. He says he told investigators he was dishonest about the stabbing.
We only got 2.5 minutes left. Let's just sum it up, guys.
All right,
this guy
basically
cut off his penis.
Yeah, he cut it off with a kitchen knife,
lit it on fire.
Yep, and threw it in the
garage.
Yeah, that's what he did. He Lorena Bobbitt himself.
Yeah,
and threw it and set it on fire and threw it into the garage.
But Jay, look at his face after he did that. He doesn't look like he's in pain. This man just cut his dick off, lit it on fire, and burned down the house. But he looks like he's not in pain.
I don't get it. He turned himself into Lord Varys. I don't know.
That's unbelievable, man. And guys, just so you know, this really happened. This guy chopped off his dick, lit it on fire, and then threw it at the garage. He didn't bleed out because I guess the police stopped it. They stitched him, took him to the hospital before. But yeah, he chopped it off and lit it on fire. So there's no reattaching it.
What accelerant did he use to light?
I have no idea. But why couldn't you use something else to light the garage on fire? Why do you have to use your dick?
Obviously, this person has a lot of problems.
No. See, the thing is, he's a liberal. Only liberals do that.
He was transitioning, and he figured that's the quickest way.
Quickest way is to cut your dick off and light it on fire.
All right, go ahead.
All right, guys. So make sure you visit maxassociates.etsy.com, the #1 place for USA Pride gifts and patriotic apparel. I showed you all the awesome stuff that they have earlier today. Go to there, scan the QR code, go to maxassociates.etsy.com. Their shirts, they're awesome shirts. They've got tons of other things, but I love all the shirts they have. They have probably 100 different shirts or more, and you can get them. It's $23.99, but after the automatic 20% off and the free shipping, you get them for like $19, and that includes shipping and everything. That's incredible pricing. So go to it while you can, while they still have the deal of 20% off and free shipping everywhere in the United States. maxassociates.etsy.com. All right, guys, make sure you also follow and subscribe to us. All right, we got a lot of people watching the show right now on X. We have 1,840, and then on LFA TV, we probably have about 5 or 6 more thousand watching. So, guys, please subscribe and follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Instagram. It's the one and only way we know that we're making an impact in your lives. Our screen name is Secret America TV on every single one of those. Also, we are live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern every single weekday. That means tomorrow night we will be live. And Fridays are always our biggest viewing show. It's the time when most people view the show over the weekend. So it's going to be our biggest show. We're going to have whatever we can find. We're going to make it big and awesome, right, Jay?
Absolutely. We'll try to give you a great show tomorrow night. I'm sure we will, because there's always something going on.
Oh yeah, always, absolutely. All right, guys. So, and yes, Squirrel, maxassociates.etsy.com. I say that's what he asked. Yes, that's correct. Go check it out. All right.
Oh,
For
yeah.
Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.